Hey guys, are you ready to see some extremely cute lunch ideas? If so, stay tuned because this week I made some really fun lunches for my kids and I can't wait to share them with you. Now, these lunches are cute, but they're actually really easy to make, and I hope that they inspire you to make fun lunches for yourself. I'm Jennifer with the Family Fudge, and welcome to Bunches of Lunches. So in these lunches, I have a few surprises I want to add. And you guys, as I'm making these lunches for my kids, I'm going to be answering some frequently asked questions from you guys. Now, I'm kicking things off with a lunch for my oldest daughter, Mackenzie, who really loves Animal Crossing. So I'm gonna start by making her an Isabelle-themed sandwich. Now, because I couldn't find an actual Animal Crossing-themed sandwich cutter, my husband made me one with his 3D printer. This is going to be a smoked turkey and cream cheese sandwich. And as I'm putting this together, I'm going to be answering question number 1. And the first question is all about what I'm going to do when my kids get older and they don't want to have cute lunches anymore. And you guys, this answer is actually pretty easy because yes, I do enjoy making fun lunches for my kids, but I also enjoy making fun lunches just for myself. So I would probably still make fun lunches just for me, or I would make them just to share on this YouTube channel because it's something that I'm really passionate about and I enjoy doing. Okay guys, so now that this super cute Isabelle sandwich is done, I'm going to go ahead and add in some fruits and veggies. For Mackenzie's fruit, I'm going to be adding in plenty of these cotton candy flavored grapes. Now, if you haven't tried these, you guys, you definitely should. They really do taste like cotton candy, and all of my kids love them. Now, since we're going with sort of an Animal Crossing theme, I'm also going to add in some little animal food picks in here. I decided to go with the neko, which means cat, and this cute little lion one as well. Now for Mackenzie's veggies, I'm going to take a combination of cucumbers and carrots. And in both of these, I'm going to punch out a star shape and then I'm going to swap the centers so that they look like this, which kind of reminds me of an Animal Crossing coin. Next, I'm adding in some ranch to go along with the veggies. Now you guys, that brings me to a very special snack, treat, and drink for Mackenzie. And I'm going to get all of them from this Tokyo treat box. Now you guys, this video is not sponsored in any way. I just really love these snack subscription boxes. Over this last year, my kids and I have subscribed to the Universal Yum boxes, and those are really fun because every month we get snacks from all over the world. We usually sit down and watch a YouTube video about that country, and then we share all of the snacks from that country. It's really fun. But you guys know I love Japan, so now I'm actually subscribed to this box, which is full of just Japanese snacks and treats. And of course, that brings me to my next question that I actually get quite a lot, and that is, why was I in Japan? Now, I know I've answered this a couple of times before, but it's been a while, and I know some of you might be new here. So basically, I've been to Japan several different times. I did 3 different homestay programs where I actually lived with a Japanese family. And then the last few times I was there, I actually attended a university in northern Japan. And while I was there, I was able to do an internship program where I was learning how to teach English to kindergartners. It was super fun, and I can't wait to go back to Japan someday because it's been a while. And now back to Mackenzie's lunch. For her snack, I decided to add in these German potato salad flavored breadsticks. Now these are kind of like a savory version of Pocky, if you've ever tried Pocky before. And then for her sweet treat, I'm going to be adding in some special summer flavored Kit Kat bars. And these are actually a peach parfait flavor. Now I do want to go ahead and open up one of these so that you guys can see what they look like. They are nice and small, and they come in this really pretty pink color. And you guys, I give them a thumbs up. They're pretty tasty. And now to complete Mackenzie's lunch, I'm also gonna throw in the special drink that came in this box, and it's also peach flavored. And there we have it, guys. That is everything in Mackenzie's lunch.
My favorite was the Isabelle sandwich.
Okay guys, now since I'm going from oldest child to youngest child, that means Jackson is next. And for his lunch, I'm going with a monster theme. For Jackson's main course, I'm going to throw together something that I pretty much only make at Halloween, and I like to call them monster meatball sandwiches. Now, earlier today, I threw some frozen meatballs into my slow cooker, and then to these, I just added an entire jar of marinara sauce. Yeah, so this recipe is actually really easy. And right now, here's what they look like. I have to say they are smelling delicious. So now I'm going to go ahead and mix this all up. I want to make sure that all of the meatballs have plenty of sauce. And then I'm going to get these meatballs into some Hawaiian rolls. So these are kind of more like sliders. Now, to make these monster sandwiches, I like to very carefully cut my Hawaiian rolls without cutting all the way through. You want it to be just like this. To these sandwiches, I'm also adding 1 slice of mozzarella cheese. And then to make these look even more monstery, I did go ahead and cut the cheese in half in kind of a jagged pattern. And then for the final touch, I added some monster eye picks on top. Next up, for Jackson's fruit, I'm adding in a kiwi. These are also getting some monster eyes. And then just for fun, I'm also going to be adding in some springy carrots. To make these, I just use a spiral vegetable cutter, and you have to have extra large carrots if you want to make these. And then you guys, because this is Jackson's lunch, I'm also going to be adding in some cherry tomatoes. I'm going to be packing in as many as I can fit. And then of course, to make these look more monstery, they're going to get some googly eye picks too. Now, moving on to Jackson's snack and his treat. For his snack, I decided to go with some curly potato chips. These are actually from Trader Joe's and they have potato and lentils. And then for his treat, I'm going to be adding in some monster balls. Now you guys, these are kind of like monster cookies, but they're really easy to make because you don't even have to bake them, and you only need 4 ingredients. For this recipe, I used some oats, some peanut butter, some honey, and some M&Ms. And you guys, as you're watching me mix these together and roll them out, I'm going to answer the next question, and that is, do I ever plan to make my own cookbook? Now you guys, I have to say, I don't consider myself an expert at all when it comes to recipes or cooking. I kind of just make simple things I know my kids will eat. So yes, I actually would love to make a cookbook someday, but it would definitely be filled with easy recipes only because that's what I prefer. And now to complete Jackson's lunch, I'm also going to throw in a monster drink. I have a Sully and I have a Mike Wazowski. And since this monster lunch is heavy on the eyeballs, I'm definitely going to go with Mike Wazowski.
My favorite was the meatball sandwich and the monster balls.
That brings me to Miss Lily's lunch, and for her, I'm going with a cute animal theme. Now, this theme is definitely inspired by this really cute Japanese sandwich cutter. I've actually had this for a long time, but I've never used it. And you guys, this totally ties into my next question, which is where do I get all of my cute lunch supplies? Now, I will be the first to admit that I have a crazy amount of lunch supplies, but I have been collecting them for years, and I make lunch videos on YouTube every single week.
People always ask, isn't it too much? But I'm like, it'll never be enough. Never. It'll never be enough. Like never ever is never enough, and it will never be enough.
Most of my supplies come from Amazon. I'll put a link down below where you can find them. I also have lots of supplies from a store called Daiso, which is like a Japanese dollar store. And I also have plenty of items from the Dollar Tree as well. Now I do have a separate video where I show all of my lunch supply collection. And if you want to check that out, I will link that video down below. Okay guys, now back to Lily's sandwich. Now she is my kid that doesn't like a lot of meat, so instead I'm making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich using chunky peanut butter and mango flavored jam. So now with this sandwich cutter, you actually cut out the squares first, and it comes with all of these little separate pieces that have different animal faces on them. Now you could just stamp these right on the bread, but what I like to do is use my food color pens to make the design stand out even more. Okay guys, now it's time to see if this worked. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, not too bad overall. Now I just have to get them into the lunchbox. So now that the adorable sandwiches are done, I'm going to move on to the fruit. For Lily's lunch, I'm adding a combination of raspberries and blueberries. And to stick with the animal theme, I'm also going to add in some really cute animal pics. These ones are from Amazon. For Lily's veggie, I'm going to add some easy breezy baby carrots. These are washed and ready to go, but I do want to go ahead and dress them up just a bit by adding some of these carrot top pics right on top. Now for Lily's snack, I'm actually going to be adding 2 pickled flavored things. Lily loves pickles, so first up I'm adding some of this pickle popcorn I got at Trader Joe's. And then to go along with this, I'm also adding some of those TikTok ranch pickles. Now, yesterday I actually made these. Just a brand new jar of pickles. I opened it up and I removed a couple of them just so I'd have a little bit more room. Next, I took some ranch powder and I just dumped it directly in with the pickles. Then I closed up the jar and then shook it all around, and I let it hang out in the fridge overnight. Now honestly, I tried these, you guys, and they just tasted like regular pickles to me, but maybe they need to be in the fridge for a little bit longer so that they have more of a ranch flavor. I don't know. Now moving on to Lily's sweet treat. To stick with the animal theme, I thought these really cute teddy bear shortbread cookies would be perfect. These were actually made in Scotland, so they should taste authentic. I'm gonna go ahead and put these in this really cute teddy bear snack holder. It looks like I can only fit 2 in here, but that's perfect. And then last but not least, I'm just going to throw in some apple juice with a cute little bear topper.
My favorite was the sandwich.
Last but not least, I'm making my son Griffin's lunch, and since his birthday is around the 4th of July, I wanted to go with a red, white, and blue theme. For Griffin's sandwich, I wanted to use a red, white, and blue version of rainbow bread, and sometimes I do make my own rainbow bread, but these days I just usually buy it from Publix because they will make it for me and it's a lot easier. Now I think this bread came out okay. It's not quite as swirly as I was expecting, but I think it's still going to be really cute. I'm going to go ahead and use these 2 slices because they are the most colorful. For this sandwich, I'm just using mayo and cheese because that is Griffin's favorite combination. He likes it kind of plain. And you guys, this next question is actually about Griffin too. This is one I've been getting very often. So many of you guys want to know if and when I'm going to be doing a room makeover for Griffin as well. And yes, I've already started planning it, but I still have a lot to do. If you guys are new on this channel, I have a tradition with my kids where around their birthday, I give them a room makeover. Now this whole thing started with my daughter Lily. She got a really cool unicorn themed room on her birthday. Next was my son Jackson. He got sort of a mountainy, outdoorsy themed room. And then it was my daughter Mackenzie's turn. And for her, I did something a little bit more sophisticated, something that looks like a little apartment. Okay guys, so here we have Griffin's sandwich. It turned out really cute. I think he's going to love it. To go along with the red, white, and blue theme, I'm also going to be adding in some raspberries, some blueberries, and some cucumbers, which kind of actually look a little bit white. And I did go ahead and cut these into stars to keep with the theme. And then in the center of the lunchbox, I'm going to add a little bit of ranch to go along with the cucumbers. Now for Griffin's snack and his treat, I actually started making those yesterday. I used strawberry, vanilla, and blueberry. So we added the Greek yogurt to some Ziploc bags. I cut a hole in the bag, then I just squeezed out little dots of yogurt. Then I popped these into my freezer overnight, and here is what I'm left with. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and scrape these off of the parchment paper. So this was actually working pretty well at first, but as you can see, these are already melting super fast and it's kind of just becoming a big mess. So I definitely don't think that this was successful, and I probably wouldn't try this one again. So instead of the Dippin' Dots for Griffin's snack, I'm gonna go with something a lot easier. I'm just going to give him some of these Stars and Stripes veggie straws. Okay, these look really interesting. The red is not really that red, it's more of a pink color, and out of the whole bag, I think there's only like 5 or 6 of the star shapes. And then for the sweet treat, I wanted to try to make some ice cream bread. And I have to say, this was successful. It tastes really good, actually. Now, if you've never heard of ice cream bread, it's actually really easy. You only need self-rising flour and 2 cups of ice cream. It can be any flavor you want, but you want the ice cream to be melted, like all the way melted. Now, I actually read some reviews on this recipe, and a lot of people said that if they used vanilla, it came out kind of bland. So instead, I decided to use coconut ice cream, which is my favorite. And to make it have even more coconut flavor, I did go ahead and add a little bit of extra coconut flavoring. And then to make this a red, white, and blue theme, I decided to add a healthy or non-healthy amount of sprinkles. Next, I added the batter to a parchment-lined baking pan, popped it in the oven for about 30 minutes, and the next day it looks like this. All I had to do was slice it up and we were ready to give it a try. Now finally, to complete Griffin's lunch, I decided to give him an orange drink with a Captain America topper.
My favorite was the sandwich.
Now you guys, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Hit that red subscribe button if you're new. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.